Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rochelle and this is Brampton Gardener, and today's episode is the first in a brand new series that I'm going to be bringing to you this spring called What Am I Sowing This Week? Okay, so last year I watched a video from Nicole at Flower Hill Farm, and she talked about how she organized her seeds by the week, so when to start them weekly. And I really like that idea because it's kind of hard just to pick a date, and then if you miss that day, it can kind of roll to the next and the next. So I really like the idea of doing it weekly. And so she shared her spreadsheet that she makes, and on her spreadsheet, there's a whole nother page that I didn't bother to print out because I don't need it now. But the spreadsheet goes on and you can put all kinds of information on there. So she puts information like when she's going to plant it out, when you should be pinching it off, when you should be harvesting it, especially for cut flowers. There's certain cut flowers that won't keep blooming or opening once they get cut, so you have to wait until they're fully open. And then there's other ones that you want to cut right when they're at the budding stage. So she has all of that listed on her chart. So I will drop a link down below to her video that she shared on that last year. And I'll also put a link to my Google Doc if you want to check out what I'm growing and the information that I've added there. So mine is all organized by week on my calendar to start my Cool Flowers. Cool Flowers is, the idea is based on a book written by Lisa Mason Siegler. She is the founder and owner of Gardener's Workshop. She has a cut flower farm and a wonderful YouTube channel and website. And she is the first place I learned or saw the soil blocks. If you're in the US, you can order them from her. She also has written a few books. This one is Cool Flowers. She has another book called Vegetables Love Flowers. I think that's the name of it. So it talks a lot about companion planting flowers in with your vegetable patch. So this book, Cool Flowers, it talks about flowers that are mainly annuals that are considered cold hardy. So they're annuals that you can plant out before your last frost, which was absolutely terrifying to me last year. I did do a video on it. You can watch it here. I have a video last year of when I started the seeds and then when I planted them out, and I did plant them out. I think it was like April 11th is when I had planted them out. And so my last frost date is May 9th, and we got snow May 28th. So that will tell you how early they were out. They survived like 26, 27 degree weather out in the garden. So they did just fine. It's a concept that we're familiar with perennials, right? Like there are some perennials that just do better in colder climates. For example, peonies love a cooler climate. They bloom in the spring and then they're done for the season. And if you're down in some southern states, Texas and that, you just really struggle to, I don't know, even know if you can grow peonies. It just doesn't get cold enough for them. So it's a concept we're used to with perennials, but sometimes annuals, not so much. So there are quite a few annuals that actually prefer to get started, to get rooted, and to do their thing when it's cooler. So in her book, she goes through and she talks about all of these hardy annuals, and she has a list on how to grow them. She breaks it down by each plant, when to start them, when to plant them out, the best way to start them. So I'm just going to go through and start the ones that I am going to be growing this year. So according to my chart, that is going to be my calendula, rudbeckia, bells of Ireland, stock, dill, straw flower, and snapdragons. No. Can you please stop? Where is the chewy? Where is it? Apparently I'm going to be doing some editing. There's nothing there. Go find your chewy. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some labels on these. Okay, so apparently he didn't like me sitting on his yoga blocks because that's what we use for training purposes, and he thought, I don't know, if I was going to get his treat sitting on there. I don't know. So hopefully he's happier that I'm off the yoga blocks. So I have dill, rudbeckia, stalks, two kinds of calendula I saved from mine last year. So I have the honey, and well, I call it honey. It was kind of this creamy pink color. And then the yellow calendula. Oh, and then I have straw flowers. So I'm going to start with my larger tray. And I'm just gonna kind of start putting seeds in and see how many I want as I go along. So the first one's gonna be dill. And I think, see, there's 20 in each, and I have 5 rows of 4. So I think 8 dill should be enough. So I will be using these for eating and for bouquets. So the dill is in. And if I decide I want more dill, like I probably, a lot of times when I plant the dill out in the garden, I'll put a few seeds of the dill or whatever the herb is next to it so that it can start a second one. That's how I succession plant. Okay, so this right here, I have dill. And I planted 8 cells, but there's a lot more seeds in that. We'll have to thin them down. So the straw flowers, I don't know. Some of these, like, it's my first year growing them last year, so I don't know how prolifically, if they're gonna self-seed, if they're gonna come back on their own or what. So the snapdragons that I did in 2020, they came back. Like the plants themselves came back, and they self-seeded. I'm just gonna sprinkle them on it. And they self-seeded. So all of the plants, all of the snapdragons that you saw in the backyard, I did not start any of those from seed. The ones I'd started from seed, I actually ended up putting them into the planter. So I don't think I'm going to bother starting any snapdragons from seed this year, because the ones in my yard came back and they self-seeded a ton. So I dug out tons and tons of seedlings. So I'm just not going to bother this year because I will have plenty. Okay, so then these are the straw flowers. And I have, there we go, 12 of those. Okay, and then next up, I'm going to do stalks. So I think I'm going to do a whole section of stalks. I've never grown them before, and I know they smell amazing, and they're super great in cut flowers. So we'll see how many seeds we have, and then I'll throw those in. Or you know what, I might do 4 rows, and then just do 1 row of the yellow calendula. We'll see how many I have. Yeah. He's viciously attacking the blue ball. So if you didn't see that video, I'll post the card right here, where he's terrified of the blue ball, and now he loves it. He loves that ball, but he can't quite bite it properly. So sometimes he can catch it and sometimes he can't. You got it? You good now? Hopefully. So now I'm going to be doing the Rebecca. And oh no, it's never a good sign when they're in this tiny little bag. So I will plant all of them. It doesn't look like I have very many. So we'll see how many I ended up with. These are kind of weird. I don't know if you can see them, but they look like the, just kind of like the tip of like a mechanical pencil when you break it off. Oh, that's exactly what it looks like. Okay, so. So I have 1, 2, 3 rows. I don't think I quite filled that one, but I got these. Or, oh no, they're in that one there. Okay. Hey! So I have 15. What I want to do over here on the other side. So this, I have 1 row left. I'm going to start some cilantro. Now it's not really in the cool flowers, but it's in here. These are not a cool flower, but I did want to get a few of my cilantro herbs started, and I think 4 of them right along here will be perfect because I need to fill in this space. Cilantro seeds, so I was happy enough to get, I got actually a few in a seed swap, and then I found some at my gardener, so yay. Okay, so I'm gonna put that here. This is the culantro. Now it's similar to cilantro or coriander, but it's different in the growth habit it has. If you can see here, it has kind of like long, spiky stems, as opposed to like the little frilly leaves that cilantro has. And it has a much more, it's a milder flavor, and it stands up to cooking. So whereas cilantro, usually you kind of put it in at the end of a dish, the culantro you can put it in earlier on, and it is a staple in Caribbean cooking. So if you've ever had any Trinidadian food and you have like that green seasoning, that's what they use, a lot of the culantro in there, as well as cilantro. But it's less of that, I want to say soapy. Like some people don't like cilantro at all. They think it tastes soapy. I love it, but okay, so I think I'm just gonna grow this color. It was my favorite color, and the rest, you know, if they self-seed, they'll self-seed. So I'm just gonna grow these, what I'm calling the honey. They were kind of like the creamy color, and the seeds are super cool. So this is exciting to be able to use like actual seeds that I can see and pick up. You can see them right here. They're really cool looking. So if you want to see more of what these seeds look like up close, you can check out my video I did a little while ago on really cool looking seeds. Go check it out. So I'm going to do a full tray here of these calendula. Stick them in. Actually, no. I'm going to do 3 rows. 3 rows. I think that should be enough. Because I do think it's going to come back what's out there. Calendula, and now I want to start drifting away from cool flowers, and I'm doing that because I do want to get a few other things started, and I don't want to keep you know what, no, I'm not going to do these here. I'm going to do these on this one just because they could be, I think those are going to be really slow growers. These all go fairly fast, right? So that's the one thing with the soil blocks, is you want to try and keep things that are somewhat of the same speed and size growing. So these I know are super slow. This is my stevia, and I'm just going to do 1 row of the stevia because I only have 4 or 5 seeds left. The first year I bought these, I started them and they grew just fine. And then last year I heard that they're hard to start, and then I couldn't get them started. So, I don't know. I don't know if the seeds just like, if they're that sensitive, and I don't know why they didn't want to do their thing this year. So I found they were super easy to propagate though. So if for some reason I only get 1, I'll be happy with that because I can just prune on it and grow lots more little plants from it. Okay, so that row is stevia. And then over here I'm going to do coleus because I want a lot of coleus. I have big plans for the front yard with coleus, so I'm tired of these tiny, tiny seeds. Oh my goodness. Now I have these 3 and I have these 2 sections open. So let me be right back. I'm going to grab a few seeds. So this is where I kind of stick seeds that I know I want to be starting in the next week or so, just so I don't forget. This used to hold all of my seeds. A few years ago, I could fit all my seeds in this container. Not so much anymore. I'm going to be starting my impatiens. Excuse me. I want to start a lot of my bedding annuals soon. So next week I'll probably be starting my petunias, and I might as well start a few of my impatiens this week since I have room in my tray. So I have 14 of those planted because I actually destroyed that soil block the other day. The water came out too fast and I whooshed. So I have 14 impatiens. I have my stevia here on this end. 5 of those. I have my coleus, which is a full tray of 20 plus. I probably put like 50 seeds. I don't know, there was a lot of seeds that went in there. So this one is done, so I'm gonna just put this on mist and move my papers out of the way and just give it a nice little light mist on those. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Are you gonna plant something? Yeah? Alright. Cool. Come on, play with your stuff. I'm going to do a few of the lobelia in here. I want a bunch of these in the front. I want them in the baskets and I want them along the front walkway. Kind of like I have the alyssum in the back bordering the stones in the front. I want to do that with lobelia in the front. You were doing the soil blocks. Remember that video? You were amazing. You just laid there and you just chewed away. You were such a good boy. Today, not so much. Okay, so that is what we have got today. So over here I have done my, I can't even read my handwriting upside down. The cilantro, I've got the Rebecca, I've got stalks, I've got straw flowers, I've got dill, I've got calendula and lobelia. So I have this section here of 20 blocks open and then another section of 8 open. So 28 cells available. So I'm going to go through my seeds and see if there's anything else I think that I could start this early. It is a bit early. Otherwise, I'll just let them sit there and wait until it's the appropriate time for some other seeds. And then in this tray, we have our coleus, our impatiens, and the straw flowers. So they're looking pretty good. Cover it, and then I'm going to stick this on the other side of it next to it because there aren't pretty many of those. And we're going to get our sweet potato slips going. And somebody wants to say goodbye. Say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this little guy. Oh my god. Down. Knock it off. Whoa! Yes, I'm barking at my dog. Okay. So I've done those, I've done those. Okay, so the calendula. I have to figure out how many of each I'm going to be growing. Okay? Say bye? Say bye? Sorry for making noise. Sorry for being a pesky Pete. Sorry for being a pesky Pete. Thanks for watching.